All right, Larry Krueger here from the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show with a little 49er video. Brandon Aiyuk to the Commanders for Terry McLaurin. Well, I don't know. I don't know if it can happen. We're going to discuss it coming up next. First, we're brought to you by Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Check them out. They're in Emeryville. They're in Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out. So go say hi to Damon and Mary. Get some brisket. Get some brisket chili. Tell them that Krug sent you. And we're also brought to you by Mancini's Sleep World. Their huge Memorial Day sale is live now through June the 9th, and you can save up to $1,200 on select mattresses, adjustable mattresses, plus they're throwing in an extra 10% off with the promo code Krug10. That's right. They've got the best price guarantee, a 365-night comfort guarantee, and free next-day delivery. So if you've been thinking about upgrading your bed, now's the time. Just make sure you jump on it before June the 9th, and make sure you use the code Krug10 at checkout at any of Mancini's locations or online at sleepworld.com. All right, I saw this and started thinking about this yesterday because I saw that the Commanders and Terry McLaurin's not happy in Washington. He's mad. It sounds like he wants a contract extension. He's unhappy with the Commanders. I didn't realize Brandon Aiyuk recently unfollowed the Niners on Instagram, but I did read Grant Cohn's article about that. And if you just, think about it for a second, it's an interesting conversation. So let's talk about it for a second. Would the Niners be interested in a trade that would send Brandon Aiyuk to the Commanders? Would the Commanders be interested in a trade that would send Terry McLaurin to the 49ers? Well, on first blush, I would say no. The Commanders wouldn't be interested. They're competing for a championship this year, and Terry McLaurin's healthy. Brandon Aiyuk isn't. Brandon Aiyuk's coming off a major injury. We don't know how he's going to return. So I guess my first thought would be that, probably Washington would not be happy to deal McLaurin for Aiyuk. But then when you think about it, if McLaurin wants a contract extension, he is older. Do they not want to give it to him? And if they don't want to give it to him, getting Aiyuk, who is, their quarterback's best friend and could be his number one wide receiver for a long time, reuniting Daniels and Aiyuk, might make sense for the Commanders. I don't know. I don't know how much Aiyuk wants to play for the Commanders or how much Daniels would like Aiyuk to play for the Commanders or how much Adam Peters would like Aiyuk to play for the Commanders. I don't know, but it's definitely interesting. You got Debo there, you got Peters there, you got Daniels there, and Aiyuk, for whatever reason, just doesn't seem happy. I mean, we'll share the screen on Aiyuk's most recent tweet, and it's, I don't know what to make of it, really. I mean, I don't decipher tweets. Y'all crybaby ass divas be killing the vibes on IG. Shaking my head. It's got to be an age limit on hating. If you're 30 years old or older, just post your kids and shut the fuck up. I think that's awesome, actually, to be completely honest. I kind of agree. Why are people, why you old people killing them on Instagram? But I don't know. Is he unhappy with the fans? Is he unhappy with the team? Is he unhappy at all? Does he want to stay? Does he want to go? I don't know. But it does make you wonder if this deal could happen. It would reunite Aiyuk and Daniels. It would reunite Aiyuk and Debo. It would allow the 49ers to escape from his bloated contract, which they seem interested in doing. It would give Washington a younger wide receiver who, Peters had a hand in drafting, who they know is, what they're going to pay him. So he's cost controlled as opposed to who knows what McLaurin's going to want in an open market situation. It gives the 49ers, obviously, a healthier wide receiver in what appears to be a somewhat crucial season ahead for Lynch and Shanahan. I mean, I don't think their jobs are on the line, but they just won 6 games. How many years do you get where you don't make the playoffs with the kind of talent they have on their roster? And, especially this year with the easy schedule they have, I would say if they don't make the playoffs, it's going to be a rough year. So I think if I'm Lynch and Shanahan, I want to make the playoffs. I think the standard is clearly that they're going to make the playoffs. This is also a year they host Super Bowl 60, so it's not like they're going to be able to kind of drift into the background as just another one of these teams that didn't win the Super Bowl. They're going to host this thing, and they're going to be analyzed, greatly by their fans and by the the media around the league at the end of this year. So this is not a sit it out kind of a year. This might be somewhat of a transition year, but I think the 49ers' expectations of themselves and I think their fans and the media's expectations of them are pretty high. So the expectations are high. So this trade would give you a healthier wide receiver. You're not going to have Aiyuk until November. If you made this deal, you would have a healthy McLaurin at the beginning of the year. So for the same reason, that's another reason why I don't know that the Commanders would do it. In fact, it may have to be Aiyuk and something for Terry McLaurin to make them bite. As far as the Niners, it would give them flexibility. If they had McLaurin, they could re-up him. Probably, since he's older, he'll probably command less than what Aiyuk got. Or if they wanted to kind of reset the whole thing, they could lean on Watkins and Cowing and their younger receivers, Garendo and their receiving running backs, and just go in a different direction and let McLaurin walk away at the end of the year and spend that money elsewhere on the roster, or maybe not spend the money at all. So, I mean, ultimately, this is would be a great win for the 49ers. Why? Because it would make them better in the present, and we're living in the present. I don't know if Aiyuk is unhappy with the Niners. I just found out today that he unfollowed the Niners on Instagram. I don't know if he's unhappy with them or if they're unhappy with him, or if this is, supposedly he's helping out at practice and becoming a coach on the field. That's interesting. All the indications are is he's going to be here, and I would expect he's going to be here. But if McLaurin is unhappy with the Commanders and the Commanders called saying, hey, we'll offer you Terry McLaurin for Brandon Aiyuk, do you think John Lynch would do it? Do you think Kyle Shanahan would do it? I think they probably would. And that would be interesting. It would be interesting. Grant talks a lot about how Purdy got his deal and Aiyuk didn't post any congratulations on social media. I don't know. I don't think it's essential that a quarterback and wide receiver have to be, just best of buds. There may be something there, though. There may be a relationship fracture there that we're unaware of. I don't know. I really don't know. It makes you wonder why his number one receiver wouldn't post something on social media when he posts constantly on social media, it seems. He wouldn't post anything about his quarterback getting a contract extension. Maybe it's something, maybe it's nothing. Maybe he's happy, maybe he isn't. If he's not happy and McLaurin's not happy, swapping them for one another is hardly crazy. And it might be a win-win. Niners win in the present. They get a big bounce-back season in 2025. Maybe they go to the Super Bowl with Terry McLaurin leading the way. The Commanders win long-term because Daniels gets Aiyuk, and those guys could have a 5-year run together where, they can do what I'm sure they've talked about doing, which is, man, it would be great if you and I could get together. We'd win championships. Sometimes, as they say in life, life calls your bluff. I'm sure those guys, when they've talked with one another, have said, man, if we were together, are you kidding me? You and me and you, man, we would light this league ablaze. We'd be wearing rings. Let's make it a reality and let's see if they're right. And, that probably is the best, for the 49ers, if you're just looking in the present, it's probably the best move. You want to win more games this year? You want to be better this year? Who's going to make you better this year, McLaurin or Aiyuk? You might even have to trade a pick with Aiyuk to make Washington do it because of Aiyuk's injury situation. Would you? I might. I want to know where Aiyuk's head's at. Is he all in and wants to be here and wants to be a Niner? Or is he like, hey, you know what? I'd rather be a Commander. Tell me the truth. You want to be here? You can be here, and we'll wait it out. But if he doesn't want to be here and McLaurin doesn't want to be in Maryland anymore, that might be the best move. You get out from underneath the contract. You get a receiver that can help you. You kind of hold his feet to the fire. Hey, look, you have a big year. We'll extend you. We'll give you that extension. It's likely his extension's not going to be as big as Aiyuk's. As far as an offseason idea on a slow news day, it's not bad. It's not bad. Would I trade McLaurin, Aiyuk for McLaurin? I would if I were the Niners, straight up. Would the Commanders do it? I don't think so. I don't think they would. But if you could throw Aiyuk in a pick, I think, Adam Peters might bite, especially if they don't think they're going to be able to get McLaurin signed to an extension themselves. All right. Interesting conversation, interesting topic. Tell me what you think in the comments below. If it came down to Aiyuk or McLaurin and you had to throw a pick in, let's try to make this realistic. Let's say it was Aiyuk and Aiyuk and a fourth-round pick. Aiyuk and an early day 3 pick to the Commanders for Terry McLaurin. Would you do it? I would. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of the Krueg Show. We love Pig and a Pickle. Check them out. They're in Emeryville. They're in Corte Madera. Thanks to Mancini's. Go get yourself a Mancini's bed and take advantage of the discount. Krueg 10, Krueg 10 at checkout. You're going to save 10% on your mattress at Mancini's. If you're getting a mattress, don't forget to save that 10% because you know me. And thanks to all of you guys for supporting The Krueg Show on YouTube.